coming up tonight on Primetime Local News.
She is the German powerhouse, Kat Von Vliet!
We check out a world-class wrestling event held at Cheers Live. And more info on the coolest night of the year fundraiser. Plus our weekly edition of What's Happening.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Real Canadian Wrestling brought the heat to Lloydminster's Cheers Live last night, offering fans an unforgettable night of action and excitement, all while supporting a great local cause. Our Randy Cormish has more.
Lloydminster, how are you guys doing tonight?
The event featured high-energy matches, with fans cheering on their favorite wrestlers throughout the night. The action didn't stop, and the energy was electric as the wrestlers gave it their all in the ring.
RCW has been coming here to Lloydminster for about 4 years now, and it's been great. I mean, we've been on their circuit. It's been a regular circuit. Some companies drop in and out, but RCW has been very consistent with showing up in Lloyd, and the fans have been very consistent showing up for RCW, and it's a great relationship that they have here with our community.
Many of the wrestlers have dedicated their lives to the sport. Years of training and hard work have shaped them into the athletes they are today.
I've been doing it for 22 years now, so I've never really looked back. I started when I was 14 years old in Alberta, and it's been like my way of life ever since then, yeah.
For every ticket sold, $5 went to a GoFundMe supporting a local woman who is facing serious health challenges. Fans, wrestlers, and organizers alike took pride in knowing their presence at the event was helping make a difference in the community.
We're really big as a community with wrestling. Like, it's not all about wrestling, it's about giving back and inspiring the youth to follow their dreams. We're doing charity stuff, so I'm very passionate about that aspect of wrestling and what we can do for the communities and the towns that we come to.
Real Canadian Wrestling will be back in Lloydminster on February 13th for another action-packed night. Don't miss out on more incredible wrestling and another chance to support the community. I'm Randy Cormish with Primetime Local News.
The Lloydminster Men's Shelter has their coldest night of the year fundraiser coming up in February. The event, which will take place on February 22nd, will be put on by the shelter in order to raise money for a bigger and newer shelter for the future.
So very, very excited. February 22nd, we're doing coldest night of the year. So it starts at 4 p.m. at the Olive Tree, and we're going to be doing a 2K out and back, where you can do a 5K loop around the downtown core, hoping to raise money so that we can get a bigger building.
The fundraiser has been put on since 2013, and Executive Director Kagan Neen is hoping for a great turnout in year 12.
I would just encourage anybody, even if you're not coming out to walk, to stand by the perimeter is walking from the Olive Tree, going all the way out Highway 16 and then back. So just encourage anybody to come out and cheer and support all the individuals who are walking, because it is really cold, and I'm, as terrible as it is to say, I hope the 22nd is very cold so that everyone can get a little glimpse of what our unhoused community members face every single day.
For anyone looking for more information on the fundraiser, they can head over to cnoy.org/Lloydminster. Lloydminster is renewing their oil and fleet fuel contract, needing a formal agreement for fuel and oil dispensing. The city has agreed to a 3-year contract estimated to cost over just $435,000 annually to cover fueling and oil for municipal needs.
Depending on where fuel goes, our price will move. Our price could go up, but it can also come down. It's not a locked-in price for the value. There was a value associated with the total contract, but on an annual basis, but it is subject to how much fuel we use.
It's been asked of council why this agreement isn't done yearly, but with costs fluctuating, this is where the city has found the most savings.
So this gives us the ability to maintain our fleet with fuel, the lubricants. The purpose that we went for 3 years with a 2-year option is there's a lot of process that's required. First, the tendering process that went through, but now cards have to be issued to the various pieces of equipment to track those costs.
Lloydminster is responsible for oil and fueling of the landfill, airport, and Bud Miller All Seasons Park. Lloydminster luthier Randy Glynn, owner of Fireside Instruments, hit all the right notes with his handcrafted guitars and ukuleles. "20 years of experience in carpentry, Glenn started his luthier career in 2019 in his backyard. Now has tuned his shed up to a guitar workshop that's rocking the neighborhood.
I've always had a love of music. Not a great musician by any means, but very good with woodworking. And one day I decided, I wanted to build myself a bass built on a Telecaster body, but it's not something that's very popular. It's very hard to find, and decided to try making one myself. And I went, how hard can it be, right? Well, it's not easy, I'll tell you that.
Glenn makes acoustics, electrics, bass guitars, and ukuleles in different shapes and sizes for musicians' tastes.
I'm one of the only luthiers around here, so I guess my biggest challenge has really been creating a brand and getting people to know I'm here. Been doing this now for about 6 years, and there's still a lot of people who just don't know I exist and that I do this, right?
As the music industry continues to evolve, Glenn continues to find beauty in the handmade and music in the smallest details. A bottle drive has been organized to help the Ross family in Lloydminster with 7 foster children get their vehicle back running again. The drive was started by Heather Ross's daughter, Jolene, as well as her friend Nicole, and they are using the Lloydminster Native Friendship Center as the location to collect donations.
It's everyday stuff, like even getting to the store to go shopping for 7 children. It's a lot. And so this has created a lot of barriers for my mom. And so I was sitting there before Christmas and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what can I do to help my mom? And I didn't think it was going to become like a huge bottle drive like it is. But my thoughts were, I need to help my mom.
The goal of the drive is to raise $3,000, and so far, $1,100 has been raised. The organizers of the bottle drive want to thank the community for coming out to donate and are optimistic they can reach that goal.
As of today, we've raised $1,136.05. So we still have a little ways to go, and I just really want to thank the community because we have such an amazing community.
Anyone looking to help the Ross family can bring their cans and bottles to the Lloydminster Native Friendship Center. Call 780-870-0593 for pickup or donate directly to heatherross40@gmail.com. The bottle drive runs until February 10th. Many events are on the horizon in the border city. As always, we find out more in our weekly edition of What's Happening.
Tomorrow, why not head down to the BioClean Aquatic Center for swimming in snowflakes? It's a fun event for all ages that'll feature hot chocolate, balloons, and a DJ, and tickets are only $10. Don't miss out on swimming in snowflakes. Tomorrow is Family Literacy Day, and the Lloydminster Public Library has an exciting event planned. It'll be a Lorex party. There'll be snacks, games, a scavenger hunt, as well as a photo booth from 10 to 1 at the Lloydminster Public Library. If you and the kids are Dr. Seuss fans, it's an event you won't want to miss. Also tomorrow, LGF Church invites you to the Shift Worship Experience. It's a great opportunity to experience a shift in your outlook on life and your relationship with God. Whatever you do this weekend, be sure to stay safe and have fun.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Whatever you end up choosing to do in Lloydminster, be mindful of that wind.
Yes, today extremely windy. We were under an winded warning. Gusts were coming up to about
Becoming common this year.
70 to 90 kilometers per hour. I was getting blown over walking, and it almost looked like a massive blizzard was occurring because we had
all over the roads,
blowing snow advisory. That's still on. The wind warning is no longer effective, but the blowing snow advisory is still in effect. It's making visibility on highways quite difficult, quite scary, so definitely proceed with caution if you are going out. But right now, that wind has slowed down just a little bit, 32 kilometers per hour, getting gusts around 55 kilometers per hour. It's still very strong, but definitely slowed down to what we saw earlier today, which is nice. It is -7 currently here. We had a lot more cloud coverage today, especially with that blowing snow. It definitely blocks some visibility for sure. It feels closer to -16 with the wind chill. And then current temperatures in Alberta, -7 out in Marwayne, -6 in Cold Lake, Bonnyville, Vegreville, and Wainwright, -5 in Vermilion, Provost, and St. Paul, and -4 in Lac La Biche and in Edmonton. And in Saskatchewan, -10 in Isle La Crosse, -7 in Pierceland and St. Walburg, -5 in Macklin, and -8 in Green Lake, Meadow Lake, Maidstone, and in North Battleford. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, temperatures will be at -15, windy in the evening, 19 kilometer per hour winds, and then it will start to clear up as the evening goes on, but it is going to feel a little bit colder overnight tonight. And then into tomorrow, a daytime high of -6. It's going to be a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. 15 kilometer per hour wind, so not too bad, but it may cool things off just a little bit. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, -15 will be your overnight low tonight. Partially cloudy, 11 kilometer per hour winds. Into tomorrow, a daytime high of -4. Intervals of clouds and sunshine, so a mix of both, and 15 kilometer per hour winds, so it shouldn't be too bad of a day tomorrow. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, -12 would be our low for this evening. It will still be windy. That is still going to be the case here. 22 kilometer per hour wind, so it will die down just a tad tonight, and then it will be mainly clear. Into tomorrow, -9 around 6 a.m., 17 kilometer per hour winds, mostly clear. And then it's going to be quite cloudy day out tomorrow, -8 around noontime, 20 kilometer per hour winds. That'll pick up to 26 kilometer per hour winds by 6 p.m., -6, and that will remain till around midnight. It will be mostly clear and -6. And over the next 3 days, we're going to get up to a high of -4 for tomorrow and a low of -7. And like I said, that wind's going to pick up as the day goes on. On Sunday, we do get above 0, a daytime high of +3, a low of -3. However, it is going to be quite cloudy and windy, so it may feel cooler than that -3 with that wind. And then on Monday, it's going to be mostly sunny, which is nice, but also quite windy. That is going to be the trend over the next couple of days, so definitely proceed with caution and take the wind into account. We're still going to be above 0 with that high of +1 and a low of -2. As a first look at your evening weather forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
The AJHL has decided to keep its league at 12 teams as they refused an application from a group in Cold Lake to get a new expansion franchise in the city. Our Thomas Wildman talked to the mayor of Cold Lake to learn more.
Today I'm talking to Craig Copeland, the mayor of Cold Lake, and he is here today to talk about the AJHL's decision to not have an expansion franchise come to the city of Cold Lake. And so I'll start, Craig, what was your initial reaction to the decision made by the AJHL?
Sure. I mean, we had a group of individuals looking to bring a team to Cold Lake. But, definitely council's very disappointed in the decision by the AJ. We've got a state-of-the-art arena for that league. It was designed basically to template the Brooks Arena that was in the AJ. So we've been hoping to have a team in Cold Lake for many, many years. This isn't just a new venture. So, we knew there was heartburn with Bonnyville, but we felt that our city is the fastest growing city area in this part of Alberta. And we just think it's just being a great fit to be in the AJ.
And what did the AJHL tell you about the reason for their decision?
I think that's part of your problem is that the AJ doesn't tell you a lot. So I mean, the commissioner toured our facility back before Christmas. He loved the facility, got to see what the dressing room would be looking like, what the city, has to offer at the Energy Center. Basically, bottom line is the application for expansion team in Cold Lake was denied by the AJHL board. We have no idea what the vote was, but we were denied the vote. We do know that earlier, months prior, submission was made by the group that was bringing a franchise to Cold Lake, and we got to see Bonnyville's submission about not wanting a team in Cold Lake. They were worried about sponsorship and just taking away money from their organization. We didn't necessarily agree with that standpoint, but obviously, this recent decision by the board, which is the first time the board at the AJHL has ever had a decision to bring a team officially, look at a team to come to Cold Lake. So they've made a decision. The board's made a decision. They have to live with that decision. We don't like it. We think it's the wrong decision. It's their loss not to have our city and our fans in the league. But, I went out to Devon and had a look at the recent team that's in their league. And that's the standard that the AJ is set, I guess, for where they want to expand to. That arena doesn't even come close to what we can offer. So it's very disheartening, very disappointing. And in the end, the kids lose, the athletes lose, and all this. Having another 18 to 20 slots open for kids to play high level hockey, that's what it should be all about. But unfortunately, it's not.
And what are the next steps for the ownership group as well as you and the rest of Cold Lake City Council?
So, the application was brought forward by an ownership group. So they're going to have to look at their options on where they go from here. And, we're there to support them. And, the city will look at, it's unfortunate we can't have a team in the league. But, our council's always believed in we own infrastructure for the greater good of the community. And we're open to any organization that wants to come in and provide high level sports in Cold Lake.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Craig.
It's now time to take a look at your adorable animals in our pet picks of the day.
Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Downstream Coaching is holding your 10th birthday Inner Child Healing Workshop as a way to celebrate and heal your inner child. Abby St. John has more.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by owner of Downstream Coaching, Haley Ewell. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, Downstream Coaching focuses on energy and healing. Can you tell me a little bit more about who you are and the services that you offer?
I have a background in mental health and addictions. I also work in disability supports. And a few years ago, I just wanted something a little bit more. So I actually went and I finished my life coaching. And then I kind of sat on that for a year and I wasn't really sure, I was looking for my niche. I wasn't really sure. I didn't want to dive into it. I think it took me a year to make the logo for my business. And I ended up getting into like energy work and all kind of the more spiritual realm of things. And that to me just kind of went hand in hand with my coaching and it just kind of took off from there. So I've been doing working at my business for about a year and a half now, or maybe 2 years. Can't really keep track, but yeah. So the focus is kind of on people. I always say I want people to heal things and feel things. So that's kind of my background and where I'm kind of coming from there.
That's wonderful. And it sounds like you really took your time to flush out all the ideas that you wanted and to make sure that this company looked the way that you wanted it to. Now, taking place on February 22nd, you have an event called Your 10th Birthday Inner Child Healing Workshop. What is this event and what was the inspiration behind it?
Absolutely. I think almost every one of us has inner child wounds, whether we like to admit it or not. I don't really, there was nothing really traumatic in my childhood, but I definitely carried those wounds into adulthood. I've done a lot of work on myself over the years and just kind of getting back to that playfulness of childhood and healing. And I grew up with a chronically ill mom, so I felt a lot of abandonment as a child by no fault of their own. It was just a wound that developed for me. And so I really wanted to bring something, or I had the idea to do the birthday party just to kind of help people reconnect with nurturing and healing the emotional wounds, as well as releasing any suppressed emotions they might be carrying from those experiences of childhood.
That sounds amazing. I think as adults, we forget how fun it was to be a kid. So, an event like this is a great reminder to just let loose and have some fun. Now, at the event, what can attendees expect to do, or what kind of activities will there be?
There's no kind of like age limit on anything, but I'm thinking like, you know, like remember the early 90s birthday parties? Like we're gonna go all out. We're gonna have cakes. Obviously with the weather, like I can't do anything like bouncy castle or anything outside, but we're gonna be doing games. There's gonna be some dress up. We're gonna do photo wall, and we're also going to do like, I'm gonna lead people through like a guided meditation, just helping them connect again and heal those wounds. We'll do a bit of reflection, but in addition to just like having fun and connecting with the playfulness and the joy and creativity, like we'll make some bracelets, that sort of thing. But in addition to that, though, I want people to leave with tools that they can do to help themselves when triggers come up, because our early experiences can really leave deep imprints on our adult behavior. And our relationships and our self-worth. So I really want people to be able to not only have a fun time where they feel safe, they feel like they can just express themselves, be a kid again, but also leave with tools to help themselves move forward in their future with healing these wounds.
That sounds like it's going to be an absolute blast and a great way to celebrate your inner child. Now, finally, where are tickets available and when/where is it taking place?
The event is in person. It's going to be held in Maidstone at my office. So it's 202 Main Street in Maidstone. We are on Alberta time as well, even though we're in Saskatchewan. So the event starts at 1 p.m. and ends at 4 p.m. So it's a 3-hour event. There's going to be lots to do, lots of time to do those things as well. Tickets are on Eventbrite. So if you have the Eventbrite app, you can search your 10th birthday. You can also find me on Facebook under Downstream Coaching or Instagram at Downstream Coaching. And the events are listed also on Facebook. I've been sharing them on, you know, What's Happening Lloyd and What's Happening Maidstone. So you can click the links in the event to get your tickets, or just if you're having trouble, just reach out to me on Facebook at Downstream Coaching.
Wonderful. This sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun and a great way to reconnect with your inner child. So that's amazing. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you the best of luck for this event.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Coming up after the break, our Abby St. John will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Taking a final look at our evening weather forecast, our wind is finally slowly starting to die down, which is nice to see. It's still going to be quite windy over the next couple of days, but not as windy as we saw today. -7 currently in Lloydminster, also out in Marwayne. -6 in Cold Lake, Bonnyville, Vegreville, Vermilion, and Wainwright, also out in Provost. -5 in St. Paul, and -4 in Lac La Biche and out in Edmonton. And in Saskatchewan, -11 up in Isle Cross, -6 in Pierceland, -8 in Green Lake and in Meadow Lake, -9 in St. Walburg and in Maidstone, and also out in North Battleford. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, temperatures will be at -15. Windy this evening, around 19 km/h winds, and it will also then become clear in the evening. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, -15 will be your low for this evening. Partially cloudy skies and 11 km/h wind, so not too windy of an evening. And then more overnight temperatures across the region, -15 in Meadow Lake and Paradise Hill, -14 in Bonnyville and Isla Crosse, and -13 out in Provost. A mix of clear to partially cloudy skies overnight tonight, and winds not too bad. It does get up to 19 km/h winds in Provost and Paradise Hill, however. More overnight temperatures, -14 in Murnum and Unity, -15 in Pierceland and Wainwright, and -9 out in Calgary. And again, partially cloudy skies in the majority of the areas, and a little bit windier of conditions, especially out in Unity, 20 km/h winds. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, we'll have a low of -12. It won't be as windy as it was earlier today, but it will still be a little bit on the breezier side, 22 km/h winds, and it will be mainly clear. And then over the next 7 days here in the border city, a high of -4, low of -7. For tomorrow, we are going to have the winds pick up to about 26 km/h in the afternoon. Sunday, it will be windy as well, but we will be above zero with a high of +3, low of -3 with thick cloud coverage. So not too great, but at least we are above zero. On Monday, it'll be mostly sunny and windy with a high of +1, low of -2, high of +3 on Tuesday, and expect some breezy conditions in the morning, low of -9. And then on Wednesday, mostly sunny and cooler. It is going to be a high of just -4, low of -11. On Thursday, -1 will be our daytime high, low of -8. And then we'll be back above zero on next Friday with a high of +1 and a low of -13. It may feel a little bit cooler with the wind chill like always, but it is going to be nice that we are still in those milder temperatures. We are thinking about maybe going back to those cold temperatures the week after next, but for right now, it's going to be quite a nice week next week.
Yeah, not too bad of temperatures to look forward towards. A bit of a gloomy weekend, though. That's all we can say about that.
Yes, exactly.
And that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.